Hello Ride On people. So today we're going to have a ride up to Bell Mountain. In a minute we're about to ride up Wolf Pen Gap, and just seen a couple of ambulances go on there, so that's not good. I hope it's not for some down riders. We'll see. Got Demian on his gorgeous Mac Monster. We've got Paul on his GSA. We've got Doug over there on the Glide. We've got Eric on the Multistrada. We've got Jerry next to him. We've got Ed on the GSA as well. And then finally Charlie, Dr. Charlie. Right, I think we're all good to go. Alright. The Punisher boys from Georgia all turned up on their Harleys. Charlie's people, as we like to call them. Got a little camera mount here with the old GoPro on it, so you can get a view of my chops as well as the road ahead. But we'll be taking it a little bit easy today. We've got some Harley guys with us and some guys whose preference is to ride conservatively. Look at the views. It's almost worth riding slow just to take in the beautiful views of the countryside. Got misty mountain tops this morning. We've got 59-60 degrees, which is just about A1 perfect. Don't end up sweating, don't end up freezing. Got a convoy of the Magnificent Seven, and life doesn't get much better. So it looks like the crash is just up ahead because we're being warned by car drivers. The police ahead. Hope the people are okay. Oh my goodness, there's a cyclist walking up the hill. I hope car hasn't knocked a cyclist off. Okay, we're getting the wave on through. Oh dear, that's not looking good. Looks like we have the Fast but Furious crew. Somebody has got it drastically wrong. Didn't see anybody hurt there or injured, so hopefully it's just a case of running out of talent and hitting the dirt. I love those old barns. I've got to think about that. Get out in the countryside and those beautiful old red rustic, often rusting barns. They're just so characterful. It's like an old rusting tractor, isn't it? It's just something aesthetically kind of pleasing about something with a bit of patina on it. It's the police. So this week I've been doing a bit of training for GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, and if you know anything about that, it's all about data protection rights of individuals throughout Europe particularly, and now spreading across the world. And there's lots of directives and regulations and legal jargon around it, and it's just sucking my will to live. Honestly, at times I think it'd be easier learning Chinese. Anyway, I'll persevere with that. Hopefully I'll end up a practitioner sooner or later. So we just met a couple of really nice guys at Two Wheels in Suches. One's kind of working for or owns a KTM dealership, and another one seems to be a customer. And the one who owns the dealership or works there was on a Super Duke 1290. I think they're about 170 horses, 100 torques, and it's a real beast of a naked roadster. And Doug with the super loud Harley, he actually rode one last week from this guy. Actually, I'll have to find out more at lunchtime, but he was like amazed at how effortless it was to get that front wheel off the ground on it. Of course, it's got an anti-wheelie as well as cornering ABS and traction control with the gyroscopic IMU, etc. And he was I think it was a bit of an eye-opener for him how a lighter, more powerful bike than the Harley's got can be a lot of fun, you know. But for me, the prize was the other guy, the customer's bike, the 790 Duke with the new parallel twin that's just super compact. And I think they only make about 115 horsepower, something like that, but They are super light, and I had a sit on it. He was kind enough to let me, and just for, you know, compared with the GSA, it just feels like a mountain bike. It's just like, where'd it go? It feels really low, really light, and effortless. Really nice. And that customer said that he you know, he got a few nice bikes actually. He got like Hyper Motard and stuff like that, and a FJ09 I think as well. And he said he rode the 1290 and the 790 back to back, and he preferred the 790, and I think I would be there with him too, because for me the 790 is more than fast enough, but it's super agile. So if you want that pure fun bike, something that's not about practicality, it's about hitting every apex, you know, or when you're going on that downhill off camber and the nightmarish scenario where the corner suddenly tightens up on you, those lacquer pounds and the nice running gear that bike's got, and it's got excellent electronics as well. It's got full KTM electronics suite. It's just, you know, that's going to get you out of trouble, and a bike that can get you out of trouble is much more handy than one that can get you into trouble, I would say. It's worth remembering that. So yeah, it was interesting anyway. What a beautiful section at 180 this part is. Lots of cyclists on it. They look like they're about to have a heart attack, don't they? I think they might be fitter than myself, so maybe I'm slightly jealous, but equally maybe they're heading for a heart attack before I am. I know who will have had the most fun beforehand anyway. Another GSA, and in a Kalamata green. That'll put a smile on Ed's face. I think that's the first one I've seen out on the road other than Ed's. I can't believe how many GSAs we have with us today. It's like the GSA army really. It's quite impressive, considering we're not, you know, a dedicated BMW group or a dedicated GS group. It's amazing how many of us have ended up on the big Boxer. Although I think Damien must be having the most fun on these particular roads on his 800 Monster. It's not quite the handful my 1200R was, and again probably more enjoyable and more usable in the same way the smaller KTM probably is to the 1290. I think I would definitely take that. Also, talking to KTMs, I think in terms of the, you know, the big Adventure, their 1290 Adventure and the Adventure R, I would take the 790 version now. The road version looks very low and has a great fuel range of about 250 miles, which, you know, is miles better than you know, its competition in the Tiger and the Multistrada 800 900 respectively. And if you want to do the off-road stuff, the 790R, well, that's the bike of the moment to have, I think. If you want a bike that you can actually ride on the road comfortably over distance, but also have some proper fun off-road, it makes much more sense than these big heavy bikes, you know, like the GSA and stuff, you know. I've done the off-road schools with BMW and stuff, and I have to say the big GSA, it's surprising what it can do when you respect its weight and you're confident. It's quite capable off-road, but it's, you know, let's face it, it's no KTM 250, right? And I think that KTM 790R, they have ready to race chops, particularly off-road, and that's a winner visually and operationally in terms of its efficiency. Going by the reviews, people seem to love it. The only thing with KTM's a lot of the time with their road bikes is they are harsh on the backside. You know, the suspension, WP suspension that they own, the major shareholders in WP, I believe, is always very good, so the bikes are more comfortable than they look or feel at a standstill, but their seats are never the best, although I understand there is a comfort seat available for that 790 Duke that customer's bike was. I'll probably put a photo up or something of it. It was kind of the black and silver, but personally I prefer the orange colour scheme myself. Well, it's got to be orange, isn't it? KTM. time we get up the mountain, which is a really tight and twisty, very uphill, almost single track road, and it's a bit of a nightmare if you meet something coming down unless you've got 8-foot long legs. And there they are. This is the KTM boys. Awesome. So I put out a little video last week about the more of a rant really, just off the top of my head, about the Harley Livewire, and it's been interesting to see some of the comments and feedback on that. You know, it seems to be that people kind of agree that Harley have got the price wrong on that, but it's also interesting to see that some people just don't really see the future of bikes as being electric, and I think that's a bit short-sighted, if I may be so bold to say, in some ways. I think one of my subscribers, Gordo, he feels that way, which is, you know, you've got to respect individuals' points of views, but I think, you know, the technology is just ramping up much quicker, you know, whereas with gasoline engines, obviously we're at pretty much the end of its development. With electric, we're pretty much at the start, and if Tesla's anything to go by, it will show you just how quickly mindsets and technology can change. And I know that, for instance, Zero motorcycles have their I think they call it the SRF model out now, and that is about, I think it's about $19,000, so a good 11 or so cheaper than the Harley, and it's got a fast charge time, and is capable of decent speeds. I think it will go up to about 120, something like that, and additionally it puts out massive torque, and of course we know electric bikes make torque at 0 revs, and it's putting out about 140 torques, which is just massive, you know, like a massive 1800cc Harley's putting out about, I don't know, 85 torques or something like that, and a GSA is putting out like, you know, 90 or so, 100 if you're lucky. Even a massive beast like the KTM 1290 is only putting out about 100 torques. Well, I say only, I mean it's a massive amount. It's you know, huge amount of torque. But so you can imagine what 140 is, but not at like 10,000 revs, at like 0 revs. It's going to be ample for fast acceleration up to any speed limit. And I think it charges quick as well. I think they're claiming something like 2 hours or something like that. I thought I saw everybody at Wolf Pen. Yeah, he must have turned around for Damien.
I feel bad, man.
Yeah, I'll go back. And you guys can carry on, you know the way, don't you? So now we're a bit concerned because we've lost Damien, and we're a bit worried because we haven't seen him. And he's ridden Wolf Pen Gap before, but it is a dangerous road if you get it wrong. And we're not sure whether he just got delayed behind a vehicle, and then when we turned at the bottom he's gone the wrong direction. He's got his phone on him, so hopefully he can put in the route to Bell Mountain, and we'll meet him there. Oh my goodness, could do without those heart attacks. So as I mentioned before, I got a super speeder ticket a couple of weeks ago, and first thing that goes through your head is, you know, apart from I should be more observant and I should have been sticking to the speed limit, is it makes you question whether you need a big fast car or a big fast motorcycle. I've never had a speeding ticket on a motorcycle in all the years I've been riding, but I've had a couple of tickets in the car, particularly when I owned a Porsche, and I've only owned the M2 Comp now a couple of months, and I've already got a ticket. And I'm wondering how it makes you feel if you've got yourself a couple of speeding tickets. Did it make you feel like, okay, I'll just live with that? Did it make you feel that, yeah, I'm going to, you know, adjust the way I drive or ride moving forwards? Or did it make you think, you know, I've got a big powerful vehicle, and why do I need that? You know, when I check my average stats on the way to work, I'm averaging 27 miles an hour, say, for argument's sake. So it kind of makes you wonder, do you need something that big and powerful? Or maybe you need like you know, a slow comfortable commuter vehicle to get to and from work, but you need, you know, something more exciting at the weekends in terms of your cars or bikes and that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Be interested to know if you've been nicked for speeding, and whether it had any effect on you mentally or even in actuality even, in terms of you know, you physically went out and changed your vehicle as a result of getting those speeding tickets. It made you think, wow, I don't need a 500 horsepower manual car. I'll buy something modest and, you know, go with the flow. Wow, my body kind of feels good and bad today. What I mean by that is, yesterday I had an acupressure massage. I don't know if you've ever had an acupressure massage, but if you enjoy massage and you work in a job, perhaps you sit at a desk all day, you get very tense and you know, your muscles ache a bit. I'd urge you to go and try one sometime. And it's you know, they stick their elbows and thumbs into you much more deeper, a bit like a sports massage, and you know, they help kind of align you in a chiropractic kind of way. They'll often you know, pop the air bubbles between your spine and that kind of thing. And I swear by them personally. I can see one about every 3 weeks or so, because I don't feel it necessarily, but when I go and see them, I realise that I have a lot of tension in my neck and shoulders particularly, and sometimes my back, and it really needs... Whoops, I think that wild turkey's a bit dead. Wow.
That was a big ass bird. The cloud of feathers was unbelievable. Dude, it reminded me it was just like the cartoon. It reminded me of that rival. Oh my god. The cloud of feathers you made, I wish I was filming it. It was unbelievable.
You gotta make a dream catcher out of that.
I mean, the cloud of feathers was just like a cartoon. Incredible. Boom. Oh man. Boom.
Rich was just gonna keep
Holy
going.
crap. I mean, that was unbelievable. And that, I thought that was impressive, but nothing like that.
And it looked like it paused, but then it took off anyway. I was like, oh shit, here we go.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really appreciate all your feedback and support for the Ride On channel. I hope you're already a Ride On subscriber, but if not, please subscribe straight away. And last but not least, ride often, ride carefully, ride on.